Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we take a look at the astrological energies from November 10th until the 17th as we are moving through Scorpio season and eclipse energies have begun. The eclipse energies officially started with the Scorpio new moon on November 4th, and they are building, shifting, and changing up until the very powerful Taurus Lunar Eclipse on November 19th at 27 degrees of Taurus. Now, this is a very particularly strong energy. This is an intense influx of energies from the Pleiadians. This is where we have opportunities to grow and expand in substantial ways, and these energies are quite strong. So I wanted to mention all of that because we are moving towards this energy. It is increasing, and perhaps you're already feeling it and sensing it, that there are big changes unfolding. Things are shifting. Maybe you're getting the energies of release, that there's deeper transformations happening for you, that you're even feeling what has shifted. Perhaps you're even feeling different in your own energy body. Perhaps there's things you've let go of, you've cleared out, and you can feel and sense those changes. Those changes are going to continue throughout November, and it's a very exciting time to keep trusting your own energy and what you're being called to pursue or understand at this time. One of the gifts of Scorpio season is that we can really understand what no longer serves us, what no longer feels true, what no longer resonates, what no longer works for you. And it can be easier to let something go or be complete with it when you're ready for the next experience or a newer energy to come in. And at this time, we have the Sun in Scorpio, Mars in Scorpio, and Mercury in Scorpio. So it's really bringing an intensity and a focus to the Scorpio energies in your chart. And this is simply by house placement. So even if you don't have any planets or points in Scorpio, wherever you have Scorpio energies in your chart by house or houses, this energy is stronger and it's working with all of us at this time. Now, we also have a strong energy signature with the fixed signs, and that's because not only do we have 3 planets in Scorpio, but we also have Saturn and Jupiter direct in Aquarius and Uranus in Taurus. So this would make it 6 planets in fixed signs. These fixed signs can help you be productive, get something done, focus on it, move it forward. There's determination and persistence here. There's a sense of, I have to do this. So this energy can help you with accomplishments, it can help you stay the course, and it can help you assess what is necessary at this time, what is important, and what is not. You could even have that sense of, I just don't have time for that, or I don't have energy for that, or I'm done with that. And this energy can be very clear in that manner, where you just have a very clear understanding of what is correct for you and what is not. The fixed signs will see something through to the end, and they'll be able to hone in on what you need to take care of, what your responsibilities are, and what matters right now. So if you're really feeling this energy of being locked in to something or fixated on something, we do have these strong fixed energies, and hopefully you're seeing the gifts of this energetic imprint, seeing how you can work with it and make the most of it to move ahead in your life. And I feel like that's part of what this energy is opening up to us, is what are you ready to take forward? Where do you need to make progress? What is calling to you at this time? And you can't deny it. And that's because this energy, it doesn't compromise. There's a sense of, I have to do this. And that could be something that you're welcoming and you're working with, or it could be something you're resisting and not wanting to look at. There's always a full spectrum of energies within every energetic experience, but the universe is saying to us, this is a really good time to get clear, to gain clarity emotionally, energetically, intuitively, and mentally. And that clarity can come without having to overthink it, without having to make it complicated, because there could be something that you just feel and you just know is right for you, and that's the message you need. So over the course of this week, especially as we build up to the intense Taurus lunar eclipse energies, there is a sense here of staying the course of your truth and where your energy is rising. And that rising energy typically occurs after the Scorpio release and letting go. After you've dropped something, you're done with it, you're complete with it, you're no longer interested, then you have more energetic space and room for what's next and where you do want to direct your energy. So there's this interesting energy that feels like it is about focusing in on what you want and then accelerating and then moving it ahead or moving it forward in some capacity. And because eclipse season energies are already strong and in effect, there's things that can move forward even faster. Eclipses help us accelerate and shift into higher timelines and paradigms. And I feel like this particular eclipse, because it's connected to the Pleaides and a very strong energy system in the galaxy, there could be a sense of an energetic changeover where you feel that you're really living in more of your own 5D energies. I'm feeling that we're really upgrading and that there are more multidimensional energies coming in and coming forth for us to integrate and work with. And this can show up as periods of time where you're moving along really quickly, where you feel like you're out of time, meaning you're out of the time-space continuum. It's like in that energy of timelessness, where you're in your own sense of a timeline, and it doesn't feel like it relates to the reality of Earth. And so we're really shifting into some higher multidimensional experiences that can support us in beautiful ways, but it's also very personal. And that's because each of us is on our own timelines and we're moving through our own experiences of energy and our own energy. But this particular week, and as we're moving through November, I'm seeing more energies merging together, more connection points, more things lining up, and maybe it even feels like they're colliding. And I don't mean that to be a damaging collision or anything destructive. Rather, it's the energies merging together, similar to when you're driving on the highway and there's an on-ramp and there's more vehicles coming onto the highway and they're merging in. That's what this energy feels like, is that we are merging with higher energies and it's supporting us in our multidimensional expansion, but we're also being asked to stay the course and to stay focused so that we're not distracted or taken on a longer route. Almost like staying the course will keep you in a very strong position, whereas there can be distractions and things that come up or things that try to take you and maybe even pull you backwards, pull you back into the 3D energies or matrix. But this is a rising energy, and it's rising up in a way that is supporting what we're truly wanting next in our lives. So I hope you're feeling this in a powerful way, because it is helping us strengthen our own energy fields in the 5D reality, because we go back and forth even throughout the course of a day. You could feel yourself going back and forth between energy fields where you're going into certain 3D experiences and 3D energies because you have to, because there's things you need to take care of and things that are important that you have to get done or experience. And then moving into the higher energies of 5D and beyond can help you connect with more of that effortlessness and that ability to be in more of your higher state of beingness. And it feels like there's more harmony, more flow, more peace. But we go back and forth between these energies in a day. It's similar to how you could feel yourself, depending on your energy, of course, go back and forth between your masculine and feminine energies in a day. And how there's certain environments or relationships or experiences where you show up with one particular energy that's stronger, but then you go back into another energy that feels more natural at times. So there's this flow that we're in that's part of how we navigate this time period, and we remain adaptable. And that ability to be adaptable is a strength. And it's a strength because it allows you to be flexible in a way that can be necessary at times, but without giving up or surrendering your authenticity. So it's like it's based on who you are authentically right now, and gives you more navigation tools and ways to move through this time period where there's various energies that are coming and going and weaving together to make this very lovely tapestry that can also be new. And I'm seeing this tapestry being woven together through streams of light. And it's almost like the yarn is this very beautiful energy of light. And it just feels so clear, bright, empowering. And it's trusting in that. It's trusting that what we're moving through right now is a very new energy field in our soul's experiences because of so much that's rising up and shifting on the planet, that we're in some very new energies. And that can be very exciting and invigorating. That can be something that literally lights you up and feels really good because we've released a lot of karma and density. And this is different for everyone, and it's very specific to your own growth, your own soul's path, your own evolution. But what it looks like is that part of what Scorpio season is supporting is that release of any type of density or darkness or anything that's been holding you down and holding you back. I feel like this Scorpio season has much more of an emphasis on Phoenix rising energies, where there's energies rising up that have been transformed. This certainly relates to Kundalini rising energies in the body and in the energy streams. And it's certainly about how we've already been doing so much work that even the lower expressions of Scorpio might not get to you anymore. And the lower expressions would be that scorpion sting. And it could be that you're not even resonating with that energy. This Scorpio season feels very different to me. It feels like we're just experiencing energies from a very different place. And again, it could feel like there's less of that Scorpio sting and more of the Phoenix rising, so that you're really in a higher position of personal understanding, as well as the energies and motivations of other people. And Scorpio is about how we interact with others in a deeper way, because that Scorpio energy wants a deeper connection, and it wants to get into things. Like, it's the deeper dive into what you're feeling, what you're sensing, what are your fears, what's your trauma, how did you grow up? You know, it's kind of like these deeper things that we each keep hidden, or we make it private, which is absolutely the right decision for a number of reasons. But then when we're with someone that we trust, when there is a feeling of safety, it's easier to open up and share. So the Scorpio energy connects us to what we're trusting in ourselves and how we're able to then discern who we trust in our lives, who we can trust with what we're really feeling and sensing, what we've been through. This is why Scorpio is connected to counselors, therapists, psychologists, anyone who is a guide or a healer who takes you into these deeper realms and these deeper places. And that's where we then discover more of what's been happening within us, those shadow parts of ourselves, those darker corners, those parts of ourselves that we've maybe hidden or suppressed. But something to understand about these parts of ourselves is that they may be far away from the light, as we can call it, but they're often feeling a lack of love, a lack of acceptance. It could be that these are the parts of ourselves where we hold shame or guilt or something that we haven't emotionally worked through yet. And the Scorpio energy helps us in that process so that we don't keep those energies inside of us. We don't keep them hidden in the shadows. Instead, we bring them into the light and we simply accept those experiences or those feelings as is, meaning the shame, guilt, pain, hurt, all of those energies can be healed with unconditional love. And the Scorpio energies can feel very far away from love at times. And that could be through your own life experiences or through certain relationships, certain life events, especially if there is trauma or abuse involved. It can feel like those parts of ourselves have been shut down or protected and they are not in connection with love. And I mean this through an energetic perspective, not just a spiritual woo-woo love and light and bliss. What I mean is that there are parts of ourselves that maybe we have to work harder to accept, or we put in more dedicated work to offer love to the parts of ourselves that haven't experienced it before. Whether they've been shut down lifetime after lifetime or things that have been shut down in your heart or in your energy in this lifetime, there is the potential for very big energetic transformation with these strong Scorpio energies, where you can honestly bring something that you've hidden into a place of fully seeing it, where you're looking at it. It's literally maybe sitting in a spotlight, or you're shining a flashlight on it. You're doing something that brings it to your consciousness, and that is where you're then able to understand perhaps why something happened or what the message is or what you're healing, any of those themes, any of those bigger understandings. But this is where we are able to fully love ourselves as is. And that's enough. There's nothing that has to be perfect. There's nothing that has to reach a certain milestone before it can be accepted. It's where you're saying, this is who I am today. This is how far I've come on my path. This is what I've learned. This is what I've come to understand. I'm certainly still a being in transformation. There's still parts of ourselves that we work throughout our lives. But this Scorpio energy is looking for true love and acceptance of what is without adding any other energies into the mix. And I'm feeling like there could be this unconscious self-requirement where we can have these certain benchmarks that we set for ourselves. Well, when I get to this point, then it will feel better. When I get to this point, I know I'll be fully healed. But these things don't have timelines, and they certainly don't have the mental benchmarks that maybe we apply in other parts of our lives. It's almost like this is just loving and accepting your energy as is. And what starts to happen is that anywhere you've had up a strong guard or a very self-protective energy, it allows that to soften. It allows for a softening to occur. similar to an ice block that's starting to melt, where it's just softening and letting the energy move and flow and be alive without it being something that is hardened or lifeless. So with this energy, if you can soften to yourself, that could be a wonderful sign of transformation, where if you held yourself to a certain standard or there was something that you've been beating yourself up about, if you can just soften into yourself and who you are right now, that can help relax the energy and also help with the movement that's necessary. Now, Scorpio is an interesting water sign because it has such intensity to it that Scorpio energy can make some very quick decisions. And it can be where you decide you're done with something permanently. And it's complete for you, no going back, no thank you. This is where that Scorpio energy can be very clear about yes or no and have some ways of communicating through the energy. So Scorpio can ice people out. If you've ever experienced that, you know, especially if you're a Scorpio or this is something that you've experienced, that it's like, oh, they're just gone. They're just treating me like I'm dead, or I'm treating them like they no longer exist. It's that Scorpio iced out energy that can be very hard. And I mean that as that hard ice block. But part of every water sign's energy is in the flow and the movement and allowing something to keep going even when it's out of your control. So that Scorpio ice block is a form of control, and it can feel like there's something that you're clearly communicating when there is that ice block. But what it feels like at this time is that the energies are melting inside that ice block. And there is a softening, and this is where there is also a connection to vulnerability. And this can show up as a healing experience, as something that you're moving through for the first time. For example, you could feel like you're tapping into a part of yourself that you haven't seen or noticed before. It could be that you're feeling a vulnerability for the first time that you weren't sure about or you've never experienced before. And this vulnerability is a beautiful gift. It's a beautiful opening, and it's a beautiful place for connection and self-understanding, because it's through that vulnerability that you're tapping into your heart, your needs, and what is coming up for you that you're able to embrace and accept. But there can be a lot of ways that Scorpio energy will guard against vulnerability, especially in a public way, because the Scorpio energy doesn't want that vulnerability to be used against them or to be some kind of manipulation or power play. So there can be this interesting dance that goes on around getting into a part of ourselves that's really our truth, yet we've learned so many ways to protect it and to not open up because it didn't feel safe. With there being so many fixed energies right now, you could even have a resistance to your own vulnerability, or you could feel this pushing, pulling energy within yourself of something that you are ready to experience, that you want to emerge, and it feels like it's going slow, or that all of a sudden it's going 100 miles per hour. It's almost like there's these two extremes going on. And over this next week, we have a lot of energy with the sun in Scorpio trining Neptune in Pisces at 20 degrees. That happens on November 12th. And then we're going to see the sun in Scorpio square Jupiter in Aquarius at 23 degrees. And then sextile Pluto in Capricorn at 24 degrees. So as the sun in Scorpio moves into the third decan of Scorpio, which is between 20 and 29 degrees, This is typically the energy of evolution, transformation, what you have understood about yourself that you've changed or shifted. And as the sun connects with Neptune, Jupiter, and Pluto, there is a significant amount of higher wisdom coming through. There's something over this next week that you could truly see from a whole different vantage point. And it's interesting because I'm feeling what this is doing is it's actually reconnecting you to a deeper source of your own light and power that maybe you were disconnected from, where there could have been various experiences with other people that challenged your ability to trust, where you could say, I don't know that people are trustworthy. I don't feel safe opening up. I don't know if I want to share this. It feels better to keep this private and to work through it on my own terms. And we can have these layers and layers of energies from multiple experiences that have shut down our capacity to trust, to feel safe, or to open up. And this would be a really good time to assess for yourself if that's your truth, if that's how you want to live your life, and if that is something you want to keep recreating, or if you're wanting to shift that energy in yourself, shift your belief system, and declare that you will only interact and allow people into your life who are trustworthy, who are respectful, who have integrity, who are kind, and who have good hearts. You can declare, I will only allow in my space people who truly embody these qualities, and it will change and shift who you interact with. It will change friendships. It will change acquaintances. It will change business relationships. It will shift everything because you're raising the vibration in this part of yourself where you are also claiming to be more trustworthy, in higher integrity, respectful, kind, have a good heart. All of these things that when we give it energy, it grows, it strengthens, it solidifies, but we can forget to do that. So over this next week, we have the ability to work with these stronger energy fields to really bring them in and get clear on what it means to live with a stronger trust in yourself and in others. Now, we also have Mercury and Mars traveling together right now until Mercury will move ahead and gain speed throughout the Scorpio energies. But when Mercury and Mars are traveling together, we can move things forward in a faster way because the energies are synced up, that we have new understandings. There is a sense of yes or no. There's a sense of decisiveness. And this energy also feels like it's showing us what we really truly want. Now, Mercury is going to have an opposition to Uranus in Taurus retrograde at 12 degrees on November 13th. And then Mars in Scorpio will have the same opposition at 12 degrees of Taurus on November 17th. So both Mercury and Mars in Scorpio are going to oppose Uranus, and this brings up something unexpected. It brings up something you didn't see happening that maybe you were wanting or waiting for. This could bring in a spark of energy to move something forward. That opposition typically means the energy is outside of you and something comes up and maybe it grabs your attention, or it feels a little chaotic, or there's some kind of breakthrough, freedom, liberation. So over this next week, you could break free from some fears. And we did talk about this in an earlier show because of how the sun was opposing Uranus in Taurus during that November 4th Scorpio new moon. And that was the first opposition to Uranus. And now we have two more over this next week with Mercury and Mars. So we have the potential to bust through whatever has been holding you back, whatever fear it is, whatever part of your life that you have felt powerless or uncertain. This can give you some ammunition. This can give you something that will fuel up your clarity and help you see what you want and connect with a truth that maybe you were denying or not seeing in yourself. And so again, that energy is strongest November 13th, where there could be some news or developments that come through with Mercury opposing Uranus. And then November 17th, when Mars is opposing Uranus, please be very careful with your body, with your vehicle, with your car, with transportation, with all kinds of movement, because Mars opposing Uranus can be unexpected accidents, crashes, destruction. It also can be about releasing the chains or anything that you've been bound to or that you've been carrying around. You could feel that freedom or liberation from something that you no longer want or need. So it is about how you use these energies and how you work with them consciously, as well as what you're moving through that you want freedom from, that you want to be done with it and you don't want to stay in a certain energetic experience anymore. One other thing I'd like to mention is how Venus is now in Capricorn, where she will stay until early March 2022, and that's because of her upcoming retrograde that begins December 19th. Now, this Venus in Capricorn is helping us get clear on our life direction, what matters to us, what's essential, where we want to continue to direct energy, and where we want to let go and no longer be bothered by something. This can be a very decisive Venus, because in Capricorn, she's not playing around. She has a seriousness to her. She expects to be respected, and she has a certain level of dignity and integrity. So wherever this Venus in Capricorn is working with you, you may feel that there's things that you no longer want. It's not right for you. It served its purpose. There could be the energy of, I just don't have time for something. I can't make that commitment. And then you could regroup and have clarity around what you do want to focus on, develop, and build. So Venus in Capricorn is more serious. She is certainly mature, and she takes her time and her commitment seriously. And you could certainly be feeling that. Now, we're also seeing that around preparing for the holidays and determining what is correct for you this year with your holiday gift giving or holiday events, holiday commitments. You know, what can you show up for or what can you not make it to? There's more of a seriousness this year, obviously, and we can look around and see that there's many reasons why it's being taken seriously. But it does bring in this sense of, well, what do I really need? And if I don't really need it, I'm not going to commit to it and I'm not going to buy it. So there is the sense here that Venus in Capricorn is about less is more. And that could be an energy that you're already feeling and sensing. And it's going to continue into, as I said, March 2022. So all in all, this can be a week where you make a lot of headway. You're very focused. You're feeling different in yourself, in your energy, in your emotional body. You're feeling that you've shifted and changed. Things that were previously heavy are removed. You could feel a lightness. And there's just something about this particular Scorpio season that seems to have more clarity. And the more that we can be honest with ourselves and truly focus on our energetic requirements of ourselves and of others, that can be a wonderful way to honor how far you've come. And again, that goes back to setting some very clear energetic requirements around the people in your life. Are they trustworthy? Are they respecting you? Do they value you? Do they cherish you? Are they really participating in the type of energy exchange that is correct for you? And you could have some clarity around that during the Scorpio season, especially as you raise that energy within yourself. Because then anything that's not a match will fall away. It won't energetically connect. You'll be on different frequencies. You won't have connection points. And you could even feel better after that ends or that falls away. You could feel like you're finally free or you're finally lighter, and you didn't even realize how much something was holding you down or holding you back. So as always, certainly trust that in yourself, and then also trust what is correct for you energetically and fortify that. Really give that to yourself as a form of self-care and nurturing energy, but also self-empowerment and what that means right now, where we can feel very empowered by simply honoring and accepting our own energy and how far we've come. Now, I have a quick story to share with you. It's a personal story about a dream of mine that just came true this year, and it's about these age of Aquarius energies. And back when I was 10 or 11 years old, in about 4th or 5th grade, some friends of mine would take one of our recess time periods and go to the janitor's closet at our school. The janitor was a very nice man, very kind, very open-hearted. He allowed the 4 of us to take over his office and turn it into a headquarters for a magazine that we wanted to work on. So there were these 4 girls. We were 10, 11 years old. We each had our own different responsibilities to create the magazine, and you probably missed your copy of it. I understand. I think it was called Blossom or something like that. But we put so much time, energy, and attention into this magazine. It was just a passion project, and we absolutely loved it. So fast forward to this year, where 10-year-old Molly is very excited to tell you that she is being featured in a high fashion magazine that was published by Condé Nast, all about the age of Aquarius energies. And this is not even a magazine, it's a book. It's 500 pages, all about age of Aquarius energies. It features multiple astrologers from different parts of the world, and it is this gorgeous global perspective on the energies of the age of Aquarius. It's very high fashion, very contemporary. It's almost like a coffee book that you would want to have for years to come, because the quality is exceptional and the pictures are so gorgeous. And I was invited to participate in this particular publication and discuss the age of Aquarius energies. And alongside other really amazing astrologers, we offer viewpoints into what this energy is about. And so this particular article is at least 6 pages long, and it was a really wonderful conversation with Jenny, and I'd like to thank you, Jenny, for inviting me to participate in this publication, because we had a great conversation about not simply age of Aquarius through astrology, but what that means and how it's about individuals, how it's about the age of entrepreneurship, how it's about really getting into what we need in our lives that makes us happy, that gives us a sense of, this is what I want to experience in my life, and I'm going to actively choose it. So it was wonderful having this conversation with her. And then it's also been incredible to read the other articles by other astrologers. And not only was this about the bigger picture of the age of Aquarius energies, but then it's also about how individuals are feeling these energies and what choices they're making and what they're experiencing in their own world and in their life. I also did a write-up on all 12 astrological signs by sun sign. So for Sun in Aries, how you're experiencing age of Aquarius. Sun in Taurus, how you're experiencing age of Aquarius. Sun in Gemini, etc. And it's so beautifully done. I was so blown away by how gorgeous this publication is and everything they're communicating through multiple topics and various ways that people are experiencing this time period. So I'll put a link below so you can check out this publication. It is now published through Acme Studios. It's on Instagram and Facebook. And I don't know any more specifics, unfortunately, to tell you. I'm not even sure of the cost, but you can find it on this website. And by the way, the cover of this paper book unfolds into a giant astrology poster. It's just incredible. And I also want to thank the creative director and editor, Thomas Pearson, for his work and for his support of this interview as well. So it's very exciting to see how astrology is booming and growing and expanding, especially through some very avant-garde and very cool means. And yes, even 10-year-old Molly is very excited about this, and it's certainly a dream come true. So I just wanted to share that with you and throw that out there in case you have any interest in checking it out. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me for this weekly podcast. I release new episodes every Monday and Wednesday, and now I offer you new YouTube videos on Fridays as well. You can find all of my current offerings, programs, and classes over at mollymccord.online, and I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I hope you have a beautiful week ahead, especially as we build up to a very cosmic Taurus lunar eclipse on November 19th. So take good care, and I hope to see you back here soon.